Good morning, Rebels, and welcome back to my life. I have to talk fast because it's a busy day. Hey, so you know what's a fun, uncontroversial subject to talk about? Religion. Nobody fights about that, right? It's not true that religion's been the cause of every war in human history, but powerful people have used religion to motivate other people to do some pretty evil things. But they're the exception. Most people don't try to convince or convert people on the subject of religion. Most people are happy believing whatever they believe and letting everybody else do the same thing. The media makes religion seem very prominent in the world's problems, but I'd say that inequality and insanity have a lot more to do with the problems than religion does, and no, those two things do not stem from religion. I'm going to try to make a point here that I think you already know to some degree inherently. See, human knowledge can be divided in two ways to form four quadrants, if you will. First, there's fact and opinion, and you know what those are, but they have a companion dichotomy in knowledge and belief. Now, knowledge and belief aren't as clear-cut as you think they are, especially when you're talking subjectively rather than objectively. Knowledge means something that you know so well that you don't even question it. But knowledge is not necessarily reliant on facts, because facts are pieces of data you can prove to other people over and over again, no matter how many times you're asked to prove it. And most people think that in order to know something, you also have to be able to prove it, but that's not necessarily the case. I'll give you an example of something that you know but can't prove. Do you remember the last thing that you ate by yourself? Good. Now prove it. 2 days ago, I ate a Hershey's chocolate bar from a gas station. And I can't prove that to you. It's no longer in my stomach, the wrapper is probably in a landfill somewhere and doesn't have my fingerprints on it anymore, and the gas station attendant sold it to me, but he didn't see me eat it, unless my suspicions are correct and he's installed a button camera in my car. At the same time, I know I ate that chocolate bar. Now similarly, there are people who know things religiously, who have heard the voice of God, or remember past lives, or had a spiritual out-of-body experience, or achieved nirvana. Whether or not you believe them, they know it, and your disbelief is not going to disprove their knowledge. But here's the thing, Rebels, the fact that I ate that chocolate bar doesn't affect you at all, so you're unlikely to care if I try to convince you that it happened. And since it doesn't matter to me one way or another whether you believe that I ate the chocolate bar, I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time trying to convince you. Well, what about belief? Well, that's kind of complicated too. For example, there's a good chance you believe that the Earth will still be here tomorrow, but that belief is based off of incomplete data, and it's not necessarily a fact. We've got pretty good coverage of the skies, but we can't see everything. There could be a Texas-sized asteroid speeding toward the planet right now, ready to crack it in two. But very few of us are living today like it's the last day in our lives, and that's because we all believe that the Earth will still be here tomorrow. But if we met someone who believed the opposite, well, there might be some conflict there. That person might want us to behave one way, and we might want to behave another way. And this shows us that anybody can believe whatever they want to, but only when they try to change our minds or behavior do we get controversy. Say, for example, someone else believes that being gay is a sin. Well, fair play to them, I guess. But when they try to make gay people change their behavior, well, that's when most people in our society start to object, because you can't prove what sin is. Therefore, it's not a fact. This is why science is on such solid ground most of the time. It's a subclass of knowledge that can be proven to other people with facts, and the only time it gets messy is when morally corrupt individuals come in and sort of mess up the data. People like Aristotle and Goebbels and Kehoe and Jenny McCarthy. Yeah, I went there because she's not a very good person. Conversely, most of religion is based on belief, but even when people do know something religiously, it's usually pretty hard for them to prove it to others. But that's fine for them to keep knowing it and not convince people, because again, most people aren't interested in convincing or converting other people. But if someone does, if someone's trying to convince you toward religion or away from it, and you just want to be done and you want to end the conversation, just say, prove it. If somebody thinks you're an idiot because you're a Christian, well, tell them to prove that God doesn't exist. And if somebody thinks you're an evil heathen because you're an atheist, well, then tell them to prove that God does exist. It works both ways. Your belief and your knowledge are yours. They can be whatever you want. Go just be yourself. But if you want to sign the rest of us up, you'd better make a pretty convincing case with facts that you can prove to the rest of us. Thanks for watching, Rebels. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.